What's up everyone, SomaZ here. There have been donators, but they haven't really requested any rewards, so according to the Saturday rules, I'll be making a gameplay review of random clan members, or rather, this time I'm just making a review of one. Usually I'd make one for 3 people, but somehow I just got carried away and wanted to give more tips because I felt like I couldn't, it wasn't enough, so maybe I'll just change the format to be one person in several games, however it may take. So today's lucky winner, random person from clan, like I said before, is Opa is here 92. The only requirement is that you have played in the last week, so you're more or less active. So, dude, you have some problems with microing, but the thing with microing is that you don't really have to get a micro-intensive hero. You can get another hero. But on the topic of hero choice, you seem to really like to pick heroes that are not very efficient for the team. Like, these lanes are already pretty bad, and you pick a side lane nomad. And I mean, a side lane nomad, as good as he is really not maximizing the hero's potential. Nomad is good because he can get a lot of damage early if he can get those levels and just dominate the game. And you can see the same situation here, kind of. You're in a dual melee lane and long lane on top of all things. It just seems that you either pick first or most likely just don't really care what your teammates pick. And this results in pretty much you contesting for farm in really weird lanes, and this could be holding you back. But overall, I do want to say Opa is here is a really solid player. Like, these are relatively small things, and he's pretty good at the game. So next I want to touch the topic of skill builds. Going for your third skill and Tempest, I really hope that was just a misclick, because not only do you not have mana to support that, but also the second level of your first skill gives that one extra stun, which is really important. Then here in this other situation on Scout this time, also a build that I don't necessarily agree with, you max out your Q. Now, I can maybe understand maxing Q, but grabbing one level of E, but not grabbing it at all, I don't think it's the correct choice. You're really just burning a lot of mana and missing out on a powerful disarm and last hitting tool. And Lodestone, I just don't understand why you would max out your third skill. Third skill is most of the time good late game. It's kind of a late game passive skill. You want to get as much damage as you can early. So you want to max out your Q second or first. Next we'll move on to item builds. Right now the Chessie build is very popular, where you just get a bunch of items that benefit your team, but you went for the portal key, and the thing is that you're not really maximizing it because you're not ever really using your third skill before your ultimate, and that's kind of the point of the portal key, to get you in a good positioning rather than having items that benefit your team more. And it just seems kind of a waste not to even try and use your third skill before your ultimate. Some other questionable item choices are on Scout in this game, for example. You went for Ghost Marchers first, but you had a really easy time in this lane. And I think that was a mistake. You should be able to see when you're having an easy lane. And right now, at this very moment, you could have already had your Runed Cleaver and Red Boots on top. And just having that sense of knowing what to go for according to how the game is going currently. You could have been farming in neutrals already, but instead you ended up getting the Runed Cleaver a whole 4 minutes later. That's pretty significant in my opinion. When farming, it's really the little things that separate the good players from the best players. Getting that Runed Cleaver just that bit earlier would have easily raised your GPM. You could also improve your farming method slightly. Be wary of the in-game timer and stack when you can. This is especially important when you're playing carries. And knowing the most efficient ways to farm and taking those extra risks for item builds when the reward is great will give you a good 100 extra GPM. Speaking of taking risks, sometimes you engage in questionable situations when the rewards are really not worth the risks. So just having game sense is something you could work on. But that's not really something you can improve easily. That's something you just improve over time by playing. So those are not too useful tips. Something I can point out easily that you can improve quickly is in this situation you should have bought a TP. You don't seem to be buying TPs much, if at all. It's very rare, and I really think you should be utilizing the most overpowered item in the game a little bit more. You had all the right cards to gank bottom in this situation, especially so because Chronos was requesting it and getting annoyed. I think you could have netted a couple of really easy kills. But that's kind of it for my review. I of course focus not on your good points but on your bad points mainly because I want to give you tips on how to improve. You are a very solid player. You farm pretty well. I'm just giving you small tips on how you can farm even better. And you're just really already a good player, but this is something you can consider. So that's how my reviews work, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Next we'll move on. Fuck, I touched it. Next we'll move on to item builds. It's really, really fucking loud.
Of course. Those who threaten the earth must be destroyed.